Where on that boat did you have sex with David Icke?
Down in one of the cabins, it was big, like the cabin place where everybody goes and stuff, like it's table in it, and they eat in it, and it's a cabin, and you can eat in it, and it's a cabin, it's like a table with chairs around, and
it's an old-fashioned sailing ship, you
know. Okay, an old-fashioned sailing ship. Now, so how many occasions did you have? Did David Icke penetrate you with his penis?
It was there all 3 days, and yeah, I got buggered by him, yeah.
How many times did David Icke bugger you on that trip?
He only did me once, but he did younger lads.
Younger lads? Any lads. Disabled kids?
There was only disabled kids there.
So he was having sex, he had sex with you?
I was probably the oldest kid.
And how old was you then?
I was under 16.
Right.
Yeah, we're under 16.
Been about 14.
About 14. Mm-hmm. So David Icke's had sex, he buggered you there, right? And then bearing in mind, you were really the equivalent to a rent boy.
So that interview, the one for Pie and Mash, right on the end of it, Bill then turns to the camera and says, and there's one more thing I want to talk about, and it's David Icke.
What I do want to talk about that came out is David Icke. Now, Andrew, you told me that you had sex with David Icke.
Yes.
Where did you have sex with David Icke?
We picked him up we picked him.
You
picked up from Amsterdam with film equipment.
Right. On a boat.
On a boat, the big massive.
Whose boat was that, Chris?
Charles Napier of Azimuth Trust.
And the Azimuth Trust is,
It offered children in care boating holidays. It particularly specialised in very young disabled children.
Okay, now you was on a boat. You was picked up at Amsterdam.
Amsterdam with film crew and a couple of there was 3 of us were me, and I went with the film crew. I was carrying the stuff and.
Okay, and stuff. This was making pornographic movies, child pornography.
The fix up the set off in England, we couldn't. You couldn't.
So you went to the Isle of Wight.
They went from England to Innocent, then they picked the camera people up first, went off to Amsterdam to get supplies and stuff and pick up.
And then you went to the Isle of Wight to pick up David Icke. And he got on that boat.
And he was on that boat 100%.
And there were disabled children on that boat.
I know, mate. Right? So what he says is that... I know, right? He says he gets picked up from Amsterdam with filming equipment on Charles Napier's boat with the Azimuth Trust. They come over to the Isle of Wight and pick you up. You get on the boat, and then on the boat there's disabled kids and stuff, and you're having sex with one of the disabled kids, and also you supposedly have sex with Andrew in one of the cabins, right? Right. So that's what he's saying about you. Then.
Has he said this publicly?
No, he hasn't said it publicly, and Bill hasn't published this interview.
Well, we'll be straight to court if he did.
Yeah. Well, it ain't going to happen anyway, because personally, I think I'm there filming, and this was for me to put out. I think, David.
Yeah, I tell you what, mate. That is so ridiculous.
I know, mate, I know. Don't worry, I've got you back.
I'm not, that's the last thing I am.
I've got another video, right, which Bill has given to me, where Andrew is in Bill's flat.
David Icke, do you know, like most magicians, David Icke is really just a illusionist, magician, and a fraud, you know, but do you know, like most magicians, and you see them, they come on stage, they pocket watch, and they go like that.
Hypnotists.
Hypnotise, yeah. Icke has a famous party trick. He used to have a famous party trick that he did virtually every night and everything. And he deliberately get kids hypnotised.
He'd hypnotise them?
He'd hypnotise the kids. Physically, the kids would make them think.
So, it's like, you see these hypnotists on these shows, and they get the people, but they don't know what's happening.
He don't need a pocket watch that David Icke. He's learned the arts of hypnotising and hypnotising. I don't know if he's learned it from BBC usually. you know, that's something that heard at BBC, is it all through the, you know, for the Masons, it's probably something his dad taught him, so I don't know. But he's got the knack, he can hypnotise an whole crowd like a magician, and he can make you think anything because you're hypnotised.
And what sort of thing, how did he use it? What did he use it? Did he use it against the kids?
He used it on kids, and he'd get the boys tapped girl things out and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
and then so the lad, when it was being filmed, really enjoyed what was being done to him.
Yeah.
Now, Andrew's changed his story. You haven't had sex with him on the boat now, right? You apparently now you're a hypnotist, and you've hypnotised the kids, and you've made the kids have sex with Andrew.
The kids, they could come and they could get hold of any of the kids, and they could take them to the.
Right, so that was it. But you also told me that David Icke, you spent the night with David Icke, and you slept with him one night.
Not on the boat.
Where was that?
That was BBC parties when I was younger.
Right,
And
so
well, no, David Icke had me fucked on the boat, but he, as far as I know, he never touched me on the boat because I saw the films afterwards. And
what do you mean he had you fucked on the boat?
You got all the lads to get hold of me with the camera, and the other cameraman filmed it and everything. So, and then they pulled me down on the floor and everything, and then undressed me, and they got the lads, like including the girls, because there was in this trance sort of.
Yeah.
I was in a trance while I was filming it. He's so clever, so I went along with it, and we were all in it. He's so good at it, like we're like all in the trance.
So was he controlling it all? David
yeah,
Icke?
he controlled it all because it's like a big kid. He controlled it all. It was the power because he had control over all of us on that boat and everything.
Is it right? So now, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, this is the thing, that this is so ludicrous and the story is so implausible that either Maloney has done this on purpose or he's a complete frickin' moron. Tell me this, Brian. What the hell is Maloney's connection to the police then?
So, John, you finished the walk. Well done. Tucker, really, really, really well done. And it's so that you can have a voice, and you're giving victims a voice as well.
Yeah.
But one of the most important things to me as a victim, John, is that you are encouraging police officers that are whistleblowers to come forward, because there is so much information out there that we will never know unless they come out. You know what, with the 100-year rule, you can't put these papers out, these documents, so we're going to wait 100 years and all the perpetrators are dead.
Gagging orders.
Yeah,
Gagging orders.
so why did you do this walk, John?
Well, I'm a police whistleblower. Now, I faced total and utter bullying, adversity in order to have my voice, and it's all about being vocal.
Yeah.
You know, there was no way I was going to keep my mouth shut, but only in respect to what was right.
Yeah.
Welcome back, mate, and congratulations on the work you continue to do. You had an interesting dinner last night with a former Scotland Yard detective. Tell us about it.
I did, yeah. Obviously, I won't name names. Had dinner with a former Scotland Yard detective that worked specifically in the paedophile unit. Now, as a general rule, officers only spend 2 years in that department for obvious reasons. But the specific officer is now retired, by the way. You know, we met up to talk about, you know, police accountability and all of the rest of it. And I actually didn't know that he had actually worked in the actual paedophile unit. I knew he'd worked at Scotland Yard and he was a senior officer.
But there were members of the police that were involved physically in sex abuse rings.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
No two ways about it.
No two ways about it. No two ways about it. And you have to ask yourself the question, why would anyone want to suppress this information and bully the source of this information? Why?
Yeah, we are fantasists and liars. We're liars. We're liars.
Well, this is what
Would the police accept that, passing on what he claims to know?
Well, the obvious question to me is, if Andrew was Operation Fernbridge's chief witness, Who the fuck is Bill Maloney, man about town with a camcorder, getting to interview him? This is what I can't understand.
If Andrew is their chief witness, then they're in trouble. I mean, I didn't realise that the Andrew interview you sent me was the guy who was saying this about me.
David Icke. Let's go
That's
back
why
and
we
show
did
him.
the riots.
Yeah, go on.
What am I after?
And that, did you ever see
Mick.
Forward Forever the Heroes?
Yeah, what can you believe him for?
Yeah, go on, Bill.
David Icke, right?
Yeah.
What do I want off of this cunt?
Yeah.
Right? Now, when I'm showing this interview, if he buckles, I will tell him that if he comes forward as a whistleblower, I'll have his back. I told Brian Gerrish said to me, what's the final conclusion of this? I said to him, no, when I was talking to Brian Gerrish, right, he said, what are you after, Bill? I said, I'm after him playing a fucking lie detector test. I said, that's what I'm after.
Yeah, that's the one, isn't it?
Or completely discredit the witness. If he can discredit the witness, fair enough.
Because that's what Andrew said. I'll take a lie detector test if
I told Brian Gerrish that as well. I said, tell him that Andrew, so now when I see him, right, I said to Brian Gerrish, I'm going to meet you, I'll meet you somewhere, I'll get in the back of the car, you park up, I'll show him it, and then me and him are getting out and going for a fucking walk, and you ain't coming. And he went, okay, I've got no problem with that.
Because it's got nothing to do with
What's
him,
he
really.
involved? Is he the 50% like in between you now?
Oh,
Brian Gerrish.
Yeah.
Using him as a go-between the cunt.
Yeah.
I couldn't phone David Icke. I didn't want to get in touch with David Icke. So what I thought, do that cunt Gerrish.
So what is
Gerrish
what's
is sucking his cock anyway.
What's happening now? Gerrish
Yeah.
is contacting him.
You wouldn't believe who does
he's
the
buckled
round.
up him, Bill. He's buckled up, isn't he?
Oh,
Icke. He's fucked.
right. Or I spoke to John, right? I said to John, I said, you use informers, grasses, etc. You give them leeway, didn't you? He said, yeah. He said, it's like, if I had a paedophile bill and I knew he was still active, he said, but this cunt was helping me get like somewhere bigger. He said, I would have to suffer that.
Yeah.
So I said, maybe I should do that to David Icke. You know what John said? Go for it. So what do? Take this cunt's stage for a little while, then he's going to be exposed anyway.
It's got to be the truth.
You know what I mean?
Otherwise, what's the point?
What we do...
It's like blackmail from us, isn't it?
But Mick, he's going to be there right now. I know that this cunt has been carrying this rucksack round with him a long time now, and he's going fucking mad, the geezer. It fucked the people's voice. He couldn't run the people's voice, the cunt. He couldn't run a fucking... piss up in a fucking brewery.
David
Icke.
He's not a director or nothing.
It fucked him. The accusation, it wasn't just the accusation, it was what Andrew sent him. I remember you, David, If Andrew...
And what you sent him.
But, and what you sent him...
It's only because the way he spoke to us, boy, wasn't it? It was like we're...
Yeah, but go back to it, go back to it.
Have the truth.
Mick, go back to it, right? Express. Remember? David Icke saw the Express. Bill Maloney, Chris Fay. Yeah? And I'll tell you what, see me and that old boy, we're a fucking wicked team together. That's it. You know what I mean? There was meant to be a secret meeting with me, David Icke and Brian Gerrish today.
Wow.
Let's give it a minute going.
Yesterday.
Yesterday. Yeah, bruv. Yeah, bruv.
Because they know.
Listen, right? Not last week, the week before, I phoned Brian Gerrish and I said to him, tell David Icke, I've got to talk to him. I said, Brian has been working with me, he went off on one. I said, I've done fuck all. I said, I'm the one he's got to talk to, and he's got to talk to me now. It was set up for Wednesday. Brian Gerrish phoned me up Wednesday morning, he said, it's off. I said, why is it off? He said, my daughter's had a row with her husband, so I can't make it, Bill. I said, well, don't bother coming, just tell him to come. He said, no, I need to be there. Because I said, what I told him originally, right, I said, I'm going to bring a small DVD player and I'm going to put Andrew's interview on, I'm going to show him it. And he's going to have earphones on with it. And then he's going to talk to me. And he went, okay, right, then the meeting was set for Wednesday. Gerrish has phoned up with his fucking pissy excuse, right? And I said to him, does David Icke know that the meeting's off? And he said, yeah. I said, what did he say? And Brian said, well, I said I'd ask him, I asked him if he could do it next week, and he said possibly. And I went, I don't know why, Brian, it was possibly. I went, tell that cunt, you tell that cunt from me, if he don't make a meeting next week, I'm putting it up. I said, I'm putting it up. I said, you tell that cunt. I got a message yesterday, the meeting's on next week. Yeah?
Well, isn't it, man? Yeah. Yeah.
Now, we've got Andrew's stuff, right? We've got Andrew's stuff. I don't know what fucking stuff.
Well, you got some
Is
stuff.
that yours?
That's yours, I think. You got some stuff to play, yeah?
Yeah, I'll show you a little bit of stuff. Show you this cunt blowing the fucking. But this geezer, I tell you what, I've been playing this cunt, you know what I mean?
That's
I've
what
been
I was just
crying on the
saying to
phone.
him.
I've had this cunt crying on the phone.
You wouldn't believe the conversations he's had with Andrew. You just think, oh my God.
I can't understand her. Jonathan King's come up to him and gone, hello, right name. He must have heard it or seen it on the Express.
You hit it. First thing you said, how did he know about this?
Yeah, how was he invited?
You know.
Whether Jonathan King was there or not, what is Andrew trying to do?
He knew what that party was like, because there was young children there. He was telling me, I told you he was opening up to it, right?
The invites get there anyway, stop.
I know, Nick.
Didn't you ask him that? That's first where I should have.
No, Mick, I've got enough information on that at the moment, mate.
See, we wouldn't
I'm
know
playing
any
this
of
cunt.
this.
Look what I've got. Look what I've got out of this geezer. I've got it out of him that no one else has got. And I've got it on film where he's fucked himself on his age. Proper.
I think we got that as well.
He's a fucking, you probably got it.
I swear, at one point you go,
Right,
probably nick myself now.
Nick, listen, no Operation Furnace. Where did they always say that cunt? It's a pun. Is that yours? Is that in it?
I've got a film in it. Yours got rubbish in it. That's my one.
The thing is, what's been really like quite distressing is sometimes
Mick, I'm
when
really
I'm
watching both
listening
your
to
backs.
him playing Andrew.
Trust me.
You getting that, Andrew?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a bit stunned by what I've just heard, really.
Yeah.
It just shocked me a bit. I hope you don't believe, but
I don't believe it. I don't believe a word of
I'll
it.
tell you what, I think straight away, like, he was saying stuff to you, and his wife was saying, yeah, there. If you listen, you can hear his wife saying, yeah. So, if I said that to Bill, his wife was there all the time when I spoke to Bill, his so-called wife, you know, his mum,
Yeah.
what he calls mum. Think about that just for a second, because 1 minute she's backing Bill, second minute she's saying, really, Bill?
Yeah.
You get what I'm...
Yeah, because it's all planned. It's all a story just for me to wind me up further about you.
Did they play any tapes to you?
No, not at that point. They didn't.
I mean, yeah, there was a tape done about me going to a party, and it was a 30-year-old party, but there was no paedophiles there. I went to a party. Bill Chris says to me, what are you doing this weekend? I said, well, we're going to Leeds. But we had to go to Leeds for Paul's therapy.
Yeah.
Then we go from his therapy. Then on his way back from there, we went down to, well, actually went to Bradford.
Yeah.
Next door to Leeds. And that's where the party was. We went to, it was an old school friend's party.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen for years that we were in care with. But all of a sudden, I'd said to Chris Thursday, and then all of a sudden, I go to Bill's house, and then Bill's all nice and everything to me and everything.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he turns around and everything, and he turns around and he goes, I heard you went to a party in Leeds this weekend. And I said, went to a party but wasn't in Leeds. He says, well, it's 30-year-olds. He says, yeah. He says, well, Chris has told us everything, so he must be lying that there was paedophiles there. And I said, no, there wouldn't be. And I was saying no and everything at first and everything to that and everything. And he was going on and on and on and on and there was just no way of shutting him up.
Yeah. Well, that's Bill all over. And the thing is if you listen to the tape.
And I was there, like, and you know, honestly, because Bill, when he loses his temper,
Bill's got my ticket to go back home. When I go on the train, he takes my ticket.
It's intimidation, Andrew.
I'm at his house, I'm there all weekend, right? I'm not being funny, I'm there all weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm dumped in London with no money, nowhere to go.
No one around you apart from him.
Any time through night, and this is what he proceeds. This will, you know, because he dumped me out. He told me to get out one time.
Did he?
Yeah, a bit like what he did to you, but I bet.
Just want some answers, Bill. That's
I just gave you some information,
Yeah,
right?
and I've fucking come and I've helped you, and I've been in this for a year. Right, now you have a bit of fucking respect. I've helped you.
Do that and get out of my fucking place now. Come on, boy. You apologise to me for what you just said, or I ain't never gonna fucking talk to you again.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm fucking 100%.
You really serious?
Yeah.
So I've come into this, I'm now in danger.
Shall we stop the rows now?
You're not in danger.
You are not in danger.
I am.
Who?
I am.
I'm the cunt in danger.
I am.
Yeah, I've got 3 old Bill round me.
Yeah, and I'm not being
And I've brought you up. No, you're not being watched, only by yourself.
Really? Mate, seriously. You've got to sort this attitude out with me, man. I'm trying to help you, dude. You know what I mean? I'm trying to help you, mate.
No, I do think.
I don't understand what you're worried about.
I know that, Mum, but fucking hell.
Bill, if I've got a question, I can ask you because you're my
I
mate.
know, but
if you
you're-
can't ask me, it comes as a rat. That's wrong.
I can
If
see
you've
that
got
I can
something,
genuinely-
if you've
Why
got
are all these
something,
people?
ask me.
Why are all these people saying it about
Mate,
you? You being
tell
an
me
antagonistic.
Who is it?
John Wedger.
Yeah.
Isn't that to ask questions?
Chris Fay.
Yeah.
Ain't that enough already?
I believe you, Andrew, I believe you, right? I believe you. I can see what he's done now. He's tried to say that you're a paedophile, basically.
He's going to make me. He did that to another victim.
Bill Maloney, who is a COINTEL agent, by the way, he's not what he says he is, and he tried to walk me down a certain path because he is in with people like, and I know you probably know this guy, and I know David does, and I know everyone knows everyone, but this Ian Puddick, he's not a plumber.
I've always found him a bit sinister.
He's someone, mate. He's someone, and for the past 3 years, all he's been doing to me is showing me his power and his connections. Michael Portillo, you know, advertising his gin. You know, he's sitting on UK column with Brian Gerrish. You know, Brian Gerrish and Lou Collins are partnered up. You know, when I went round to Bill Maloney's flat one day, Ben Fellows is supposed to be missing, but Lou Collins can ring him. You know, everyone knows now. I see what's going on in there, and it's ridiculous. You know, that is not a truth movement that is going on over there. And for someone like me to come walking in and see it all, this is just like a repeat of the commercial industry that I've just been in, but just as dark in another way.
Do you know what, Brian? If I was in the same room as you now, I'd fucking kiss you, mate. I'm trying to. One of the things I try and...
That geezer, Bill Maloney, you know what he tried to do to David, yeah? You know, don't you? You know what he tried to do.
Welcome back, mate, and congratulations on the work you continue to do. You had an interesting dinner last night with a former Scotland Yard detective. Tell us about it.
I did, yeah. Obviously, I won't name names. Had dinner with a former Scotland Yard detective that worked specifically in the paedophile unit. Now, as a general rule, officers only spend 2 years in that department for obvious reasons. But the specific officer is now retired, by the way. You know, we met up to talk about, you know, police accountability and all of the rest of it. And I actually didn't know that he'd actually worked in the actual paedophile unit. I knew he'd worked at Scotland Yard and he was a senior officer, but I didn't actually know that he'd worked in that office until last night.
Okay, mate, go on. What seems to be the problem?
All right, John, let's take it for us. Right. As I said, there's been an allegation made against you, so you are going to have to come with us to the police station tonight.
Regarding what?
Regarding a Mr. Ian Puddick. I don't know if you know that person. He's alleging that for a series of months during I think it's July and August, that you've been sending in sort of comments on Twitter and making YouTube videos against him. All right. Swearing at him, making religious comments about him. And as I say, it's an allegation. We know that there's two sides to every story.
Of course, I understand. I understand that.
We're not going to have a discussion now about it. You're going to be interviewed at police station under caution, and you will give your side of the story.
What police?
We're from Enfield, so it'll be our local police station is Wood Green. Right. As I say, we know there's two sides to every story, but because of this allegation's been made, we'll be able to speak to you about it.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. But like you say, two sides to every story.
Yeah. As I said, we'll interview you and get your side of the story.
It's an absolute joke what he's doing, considering. I mean, when I do tell you my side of the story, you know, I mean, this Ian Puddick guy.
As I say, okay, just before.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't just come in and just put it on me and not explain nothing.
Okay, listen to me. Before you speak, let me caution you, okay? Because anything you okay? So
I'm being arrested.
You are going to be arrested, yeah. So we can interview under
for what?
For a malicious communications offence. Okay, so you do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which later on in court anything you do say may be evidence. All right, as I say. Any comments you want to say now?
At this point, I'd like to say, I do not consent to this arrest.
Okay, as I say, we don't really need your consent, but I'll go on. Well, if you've got anything to say.
I don't consent to this. Okay. And this is a vitriolic attack from Ian Puddick on myself, who is fully aware of my mental condition. He's fully aware of that, and has also. I reported him to the police first and nothing was done about it. I don't see this scenario getting played out on Ian Puddick, so I just want to point out now, whatever special favours Ian Puddick is pulling there, because I'm aware that he's not just a member of the public. I think we all know that. In 2014, I've seen an interview with you and Ian Puddick in Bill's flat, and you're both facing in the same direction, and Bill went to me, what do you think?
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. What did Ian Puddick ask you about? Because he's supposed to be a plumber.
There was a police officer in there.